cardiac arrest. And if there's not prevention, then we need to be ready with an AED.
So in the last half hour, I introduced you to a Hoosier mom advocating for preventive heart screenings after her son, a young athlete, died while taking a nap.
Now we want you to meet another local mom fighting to get life-saving devices in your hands so that you can act when seconds count.
That's right. I met up with her after she testified at the State House on behalf of her son. And she's warning lawmakers that sudden cardiac arrest is the #1 killer of students on school campuses across the country.
He just was a great kid all around and brought people together.
I love you more.
Vibrant, outgoing, a loving son, brother, and friend who loved being outdoors.
He played football and lacrosse for LaPorte High School.
An active, otherwise healthy young man with a deadly heart condition that nobody knew about.
He just was finishing up running a football play and he collapsed and went into sudden cardiac arrest.
His mom, Julie West, says she's brave today because of him.
What I think about every day when I wake up is what would Jake want me to do, and so that's what helps me.
Starting a nonprofit organization, Play for Jake Foundation, raising funds and awareness about automated external defibrillators, or AEDs, a device that most likely could have saved Jake's life when he collapsed.
But come to find out, one of the coaches stepped in and did CPR, but the AED was not on the field, and it was in the coach's office.
Which is why Julie testified in support of a bill moving through the State House that would not only require AEDs on the school premises, but make them accessible within 3 minutes of any school activity, as well as require a plan of action.
Everybody has a role when something like this happens,
with people trained on where these devices are located and how to use them.
As a teacher, I knew what to do in case of a fire drill, storm drill, and an active shooter drill. We have these drills to protect our children, but we do not have drills in case of a sudden cardiac emergency.
A similar bill passed out of the Senate last year, but ran out of time in the House.
There's so much that schools are confronted with.
Adam Keene with IU School of Medicine comes from a family of educators, and he supports this legislation as a way to save lives.
The goal is to get an AED on that chest within 3 minutes.
He says AEDs came into play in the early 2000s, and education and awareness of their purpose is key, as well as practicing what to do.
So it's one thing to have the knowledge and the expertise. It's another thing to put people in sort of that practice unit and working together.
The device itself is simple to use.
It's essentially a glorified battery.
You turn on the AED and put the patches on the person in need.
So when patches are put on an individual, it's not going to do anything except sense the individual's electricity. And if it's on someone who has a pulse and a heart rhythm that is perfectly fine, it's just going to continue monitoring, and it'll say that.
If the person needs an electric shock, the device will tell you to back away and advise a defibrillation.
Resynchronizing the heart's native rhythm.
A life-saving push of a button if the device and the training are in place.
It's like we're fighting, us mothers are fighting to make a change.
If you could talk to Jake today, or do you think he'd be proud of like all of this?
I do. I believe that. He would give me a huge hug and tell me he loves me, and yeah, we talk a lot.
I love you more.
Well, in the story on our website, you can find more information on the Play for Jake Foundation, as well as that bill in the State House. It focuses on those AEDs in your child's school. Also, we have more information on something that's called Project Adam. It's an organization working to designate heart-safe schools. Those are schools that are really going above and beyond to have these life-saving devices in place with drills and training for people in the building. There's about 6 right now in the entire Hoosier state, and they're working to get more schools on board. So we'll continue to follow that.
A big thank you to you and photographer Shay Goodpasture. Nice job on that story. Really bring us information that we all could use. And we're going to have some training when it comes to CPR here at WRTV.
That's right, tomorrow.
So I'm looking forward to that because we could all use a refresher course. At 6